Hey, people.
All right, welcome. Will somebody just playing some music? Y'all gonna turn it off for me? Like, I'm gonna wait just maybe 1 or 2 minutes. There we go. We may wait maybe 1 or 2 minutes to see how many more people are coming. Is there?
Oh, it's me, Ava, and Micaiah here.
Oh, what's up? Just a little sideways. What'd you say? All right, everybody, as we're waiting, make sure to turn your cameras on so we can see your faces. I'm gonna let you guys say hello just a little bit, and then we're gonna get started in a couple minutes, okay? So talk amongst yourselves. So we got Ava, Anaya, Micaiah, Tyler, Daquan, Savion, Reagan, Rashard, Aja, Larry, Kyrie, Leland, Ryan, Chandler, Sanaya. All right, cool. And we have more. We have iPhone. Welcome, iPhone. Make sure to turn your cameras on. All right. Nope, close that.
Drake for president.
Good luck.
Not very bright.
I will gladly move to another country. No, I'm kidding. To be honest, yeah, I think Drake might possibly do a better job than the president we have now, but that's just because the president we have now is not setting a high standard at all. He's not even setting a normal standard, so. But I still wouldn't vote for Drake. Let's be clear.
Imagine if he was the president.
That would be kind of interesting. His State of the Union addresses would be like raps. Like, yo, got this mixtape. The economy. No.
Dang, so loud. Wait for me.
All right, everybody's camera should be on. And make sure that you have paper and pencil as well. We do have a do now this morning. Come on, y'all. You know I like writing, and I hope that you'll start to like writing too.
Yeah, I got my paper and pencil.
Excellent. Paper and pencil, or you can write
Hopefully
on a
this summer.
computer or a phone. That's what those things are. And just send it to me, okay? Marquise, you look so happy right now.
Never mind.
All right.
Oh.
Is this it?
Take your break.
No. All right. It is 11:34, so let's go ahead and get started. We have, did anybody come on whose name I didn't call? I don't think Marquise, I don't think you were here. Mahogany, when I called names earlier. I'm just gonna go through names one more time. So we have Anaya, we have Ava, we have Micaiah, we have Tyler, Savion, Reagan, Richard, Ryan, Chandler, Navy, Daquan, Mahogany, Shania, Leland, and Marquise. And we have our friends who are turning on their cameras right now. That would be Aja, Maui, Larry, and Kyrie. Excellent. Welcome, and now we will begin class. So just to remind you guys, I already posted our work for this week on Class Dojo. This is our last assignment. There are 5 possible assignments for you to do. 5 assignments this week. That means you can do 1 each day, and they will make up any assignments that you have missed. Okay, you only have to do 1, but be encouraged to do more than 1 because You are getting grades for your work, and there's a lot of missing work. All right? I know you guys remember class. I know you loved all of the colorful stuff on the walls. I know. So wanted to remind you of that. And then I want to take us to our presentation. All right. Nope, that's the wrong button. Great. Present. First things first. Can anybody recognize this picture? Come on, loading. What kind of sandwich is that? Does anybody know?
Popeye chicken sandwich.
Already know. So I knew you would immediately recognize what the sandwich was. This is actually a homemade version. So in case you're like, dang, I want Popeyes, my mom ain't let me leave the house, go online, find directions, make it yourself.
I thought that was KFC at first.
Nope, it looks like it. You know what? This is actually a more chicken than you usually get in the Popeye's chicken. I had to go through and look at all these pictures because I was like, okay, I really want some chicken on this. But anyway, back to school. Welcome to class. Today we are talking about quote sandwiches and Popeye's chicken, but mostly quote sandwiches. When we think of quote sandwiches, I want you to think of three things: context, quote, explain. Say it with me. Context, quote, explain.
Explain.
Excellent. Thank you. Everybody loves quote sandwiches. Our class norms are the same as before. You must sign in with your first full name. You must show your face. You must show your work on the camera when I ask. You must answer the questions when you are called, and you must mute your microphone and never share your screen. Now that that's done, I'm Mr. Fields. Surprise, surprise. Today is June 8th. Last class. I can't say it enough. I miss you guys a lot. I look forward to you guys finishing all of the work so you can have a great 8th grade year. All right? Our learning target, I can complete a quote sandwich. What are the three parts? Context, quote,
explain.
All right, I'm gonna say it again and again so we get it. Our do now is a journal. Our lesson, we will review we wrote some long walk to water quote sandwiches. Raise your hand if you remember those. Okay, I see some hands, see some thinking. Excellent, wonderful. See a thumbs up, perfect, thank you. We're gonna review those, then we're gonna finish Zendaya's quote sandwich. Question, is it Zendaya or Zendaya?
Zendaya.
Zendaya?
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason, I enjoy saying it incorrectly, so I'm gonna call her Zendaya.
What?
Yeah. Ask the 8th graders from last year. I used to always say Zendaya, and they're like, no, it's Zendaya. And I was like, oh, Zendaya. Anyway, we're going to finish her quote sandwich. There's a quote sandwich that I took out of an article on CNN. So we'll do that for classwork. And then we will introduce President Obama's quote sandwich, which will be our exit ticket. And if you would like, it will be the beginning of one of your assignments for this week. All right. Next, our journal. Our journal topic is encouragement. You're gonna have 5 minutes to tell me what is the most encouraging statement someone said to you. Someone said to you personally. So it could be, you're a great artist, or you're extremely helpful, or you're always here when I need it. It could be an adult, it could be a child, it could be a friend, it could be a family member, but something that was said specifically to you. When you think about this quote, I want you to include the statement, so include it in quotes, then explain, when did they say it to you? So what month, like, was it this year, was it last year? And what were you doing? What made them say it? That's the context. Then explain why it was so encouraging. If you didn't catch that, we are doing a quote sandwich for our do now. First, we will do the context, when did they say it to you, what month, what were you doing? Then we will write the quote, and then we will explain why it was so encouraging. All right? It's okay if you do it out of order for the do now, but I want to get you in the habit. Context, quote, explain. All right? You have 5 minutes.
Yo.
You dog, you got 5 minutes too. All right. So
Can we just private chat?
I'm sorry?
I'm confused.
Can we private chat you?
No, please don't private chat. If you could write it in an email and send it to me in an email, that would be great. My email is jbfields@dosk12.com. I did hear someone say they need a little more explanation. So we're just thinking of something encouraging that someone said to us. Maybe they said, oh, you're so great at helping, or wow, that's a beautiful picture you painted, or you did really well on this test. Okay, whatever that statement is, out of all the times that people have said encouraging things, pick one of them. It doesn't have to be the most perfect, but just one. And then write it down, put it in quotation marks. That's your quote. Then I want you to describe, when did they say it to you? So what time, like what month? Was it this month? Was it last month? Was it last year? Just give a rough time. You don't have to say it at 11:27 on the 2nd of March. Mr. Fields said, you clean up nicely. You don't need to be that specific. And then what were you doing? Just kind of to help us understand what context is, okay? And then explain why it was so encouraging to you. I would like you to write at least one paragraph. Okay, any more questions?
Um,
All right. Got 3.5 minutes left. Music. All right. Thank you for writing, Navy. Thank you for writing, Tyler. Daquan, I can't see you. Anaya, good to see you're back. Go ahead and get writing. Chandler, please turn on your camera. Savion, thank you for writing. Marquise, thank you for writing. Thank you, Chandler. Mahogany, thank you for writing. Reagan, thank you for writing. Ryan, I think I see you writing there. Shania, camera back on if you're able, please. Thank you. Rashard, Leland, Aja, Kari, Larry, Maui, Corey, and Elena. Please make sure your cameras are on so I can see you writing. Okay. When you're finished, I'd like you to show me what you've written, okay? We have 3 more minutes left. Even if you don't finish, I want to see what you've written.
Miss Fields, I got a question.
Yes.
So we supposed to write down the quote, and then what else we supposed to do?
You're going to write down the quote. You're going to write down the context. So when it was said and where it was said, like what you were doing, and then why it was so encouraging. And
Can you read?
hold on 1 second, Anaya. I see we have some questions in the chat. If yes, any way that you have been helpful, any way that maybe somebody said, oh, I like your hair, you know, or anything that somebody has said to you that is either encouraging or nice. Okay, excellent. Anaya, did you have a question?
Never mind.
Got it? Okay, teamwork makes the dream work.
Wait, so it's just the quote and then the place?
The quote, the context, which is the place and the time about, you know, you can say this year, last year when I was 7, and then explain.
Okay.
So we're actually writing a quote sandwich, but just, we're not worried about what order it comes in yet. So we're writing a quote, we're writing the context, and we're explaining. Okay?
Explain, like,
Why was it encouraging? Why was it nice? Why did you like it that they said it?
okay.
Okay, good. Thanks for asking. All right, we have 1 more minute. Excellent. Okay. And excellent. 30 more seconds. Ava, that's a very interesting way of writing. All right, 15 seconds. And that is the end of our journal. If you were able to finish, well, regardless if you finished or not, can everybody please hold up their writing to the camera so I can see what you have written, okay? Even if it's just one sentence. Remember when we were in class? Very good, Navy. Thank you for showing me. All right. Very good, Chandler. Thank you.
It's
Very
not a
good,
lot.
Mahogany. Thank you. Very good, Reagan. Thank you. All right, keep it held up until I say your name. Thank you, Rashard. Very good. Very good, Leland. Make sure you still take a picture of this and email it to me, or just type it out and email it to me, okay? jbfields@dask12.com. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Now, let us continue. Next, let's get to these quote sandwiches, shall we? So remember, the top piece of bread is the context. It's what's going on, and it's where are we? Okay, so think about what book and what chapter. That's how we practice when we were writing about A Long Walk to Water and Liddy and all those wonderful books that I know you miss. For our homework, we're actually going to say on the YouTube video or something of that sort. We'll get to that in a moment. But this is our context. Can someone please read? Can I have hands? I would like a volunteer to read the context, one volunteer to read the quote, which is coming up next, and one volunteer to read the explanation. Anaya, I see your hand. Thank you. If you could read the context. Micaiah, you will be next. Thank you. And Cameron, if you could read the explanation. So go ahead, Anaya, if you can read the context.
Thank you. They're over here pushing me. Okay. Anyways, in chapter, wait, do you want me to start from the inside of the bread?
You can just start with in chapter 10.
In chapter 10, Salva is walking through the desert. He had never seen the desert before and was shocked by the long, hard walk through the dry climate. I can't see, Mr. Fuse. You typing.
Oh, you can't? You can see me typing?
No, yeah, I can see it pops up, but hey, stop.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Dry climate.
You're muted. You're muted, Anaya.
Dry climate and just how different his home was from what he saw and what he experienced in the desert.
Thank you. Next. So that's the context. That's what's happening in the book. It gives us a little bit of an introduction. Next, Micaiah, if you could please read the quote. This is the filling. It might be small, just one or two sentences, but it's the most important part. Go ahead.
Uncle cautioned him to make the water in his gourd last as long as possible. It was the hardest thing Salvo had ever done, taking only tiny sips when his body cried out for huge gulps of thirst quenching, life-giving water.
Excellent. Thank you. This is straight from the text, and we have quotation marks around the beginning and the end, so we remember that it's from the text, okay? It's not our writing, it's the author's writing. Now, Cameron, can you read this explain part for us? Thanks. Cameron, we can't hear you. All right, do I have a volunteer that would like to read the last part? Explain. Thank you, Marquise.
The hardest things for Salvo was to drink water little by little. He was very thirsty, yet he also knew that he needed to save his water for the rest of the 3-day journey. Thankfully, Salva's uncle was there to remind him to try to make his water last the entire 3 days.
Very good. Thank you. Now, this is the bottom piece of bread. It's probably going to be a little bit thicker than your quote, since your quote is only 1 or maybe 2 sentences long, but this is an analysis or an explanation. When we were back in school, it would tie back to your focus statement. But your focus statement now is either an objective statement or a subjective statement, okay? So as objective statement or an objective summary is a summary that's all facts. And a subjective summary is a summary that is all opinions, all right? Excellent. Next, do we have time for one more? It is 11:52. I'm gonna read this quickly, okay? Persistence helped Salva survive in a difficult environment. Salva's uncle helped him find food, but when uncle passed away, he had to beg for food just to survive. The rest of the tribe treated him poorly and they thought he was weak. The author writes, the way they treated him made Salva feel stronger still. There is no one left to help me. They think I am weak and useless. They are wrong, and I will prove it. Page 66. This quote shows Salva making a promise to himself that he will come back stronger and more independent. Salva previously depended on his uncle for everything, especially for food and protection. Salva decided that he would continue to try his best to take care of himself now that his uncle has passed away. This is how Salva was persistent, and his persistence helped him to survive in a difficult environment. Great. Now, have a feeling some of you may like Zendaya, whatever. I'm tired of saying it wrong. Zendaya. All right. This is a quote sandwich that I took from a CNN article. It's the article that talks about when her some of her pictures were photoshopped. And you see we have the context up top. We have the quote here in the middle. And then we as a group, we're going to go through and figure out what is the explanation, okay? Can I have Evan to read the context, and Daquan, can you please read the quote for us? Thank you. So Evan, the top of part, and Daquan, the part in purple.
No. In an Instagram post, the 19-year-old said Tuesday that she was shocked to discover her hips and torso had been slimmed in photos taken for the November issue of Modelster.
I think it's Modelist. I think.
Modelist.
Cool. Thank you. All right, go ahead, Daquan.
Read the bottom portion.
Yes,
These
please.
are things that makes women self-consciousness. These create unrealistic ideas of beauty, said Zendaya, who posted the before and after photos side by side. Anyone who knows I stand for honest and pure self-love. So I took up upon myself to release the real picture.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Now, remember, up top, we have the context. Where is it from? It's actually from Instagram, okay? We want to tell people where it's from, so if they want to go find it, they can. In the book, A Long Walk to Water, we said, in chapter 10, all right? Here we say, in an Instagram post on Tuesday, all right? So that's where and that's when. Where and when, context. Next, we have the star of the show, the quote. Without the quote, it would just be bread. All right, we need to have our quote. And lastly, explain. Okay, so we want to make sure we want to explain what the quote is saying. So put it in our own words. All right, and we can use the sentence starter. This quote shows that. Who would like to volunteer and give us this quote shows that? So we can so we can practice using a quote sandwich. All right, I don't see any hands, so I'm gonna ask for Navy to go first. Then I'm gonna ask for Chandler to go next. This quote shows that. What does this quote show? Navy?
Wait, where y'all at?
We're here, and you see the purple? That is a quote that Zendaya said, okay?
Uh-huh.
So what is this? Put the quote in your own words. What is Zendaya trying to say?
She like boys.
Just give me one thing, because it's 3 different sentences. So just give me one sentence in your own words. What is she trying to say?
Something about photoshopping or something like that.
Very good. Is photoshopping good or is it bad?
Bad.
Bad. Very good. Excellent. Thank you, Navy. And Chandler, what more would you like to add?
Can I add something?
Sure. Tyler, we'll have you go right after Chandler.
Look, well, she can. Let's see.
Or Chandler, would you like Tyler to go first?
Yeah, he can go first.
Okay, go ahead, Tyler.
I mean, I wouldn't say Photoshop was bad, but because it's like,
Well, here, let's listen up though. Is it what you're saying or is it what she's saying? Remember, this is a Zendaya quote. So what she said is that Photoshop is bad. Okay? And she gives
but
reasons why Photoshop is bad. Can you give us one reason why Photoshop is bad, Tyler? You can look
you're
in the
not
first, go ahead.
you're not showing your natural body.
Exactly, you're not showing your natural body, okay? Very good.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
but now let's focus on the quote, and it says in the first part, these are the things that make women self-conscious, that create the unrealistic ideals of beauty that we have. So we could say this quote shows that Zendaya thinks Photoshop is bad because it makes women feel bad about their bodies, the bodies that they have, okay? Excellent. Chandler, do you want to add something to that?
I think with also another reason probably Photoshop is bad is because one, of course, like you're not loving your own body, and it can make other people feel bad because they think that that's their real body and it's not.
Very good, very good. Can you look in our quotes and find something that supports that statement that you made?
Ooh, the like part where it says before and after photos side by side.
That is a good part. Yes, the before and after photos side by side. But what about honest and pure love?
Oh, I did not even. Yeah, that
Excellent.
and
Okay, good, good. Thank you. Okay, so what we're doing is we're looking at the quote and we're putting it into our own words and then explaining it just a little bit more. All right, so now that we have tried, now that we've talked it out, now for our exit ticket. All right, so I want you all to write the context, the quote, and explain. All right, so since the quote is already here, you can just write the context and explain. To give you a little bit of information, this was said on YouTube on Thursday, okay? And it was a speech that he said. So you're not gonna put the author writes, you're gonna put, and you know the name of the author, you know President Obama, so, but it's an exit ticket, so I'm not going to give you the answers, all right? You have 5 minutes. Okay. Context, where and when is this quote from? It's from YouTube. It was a speech that was said on Thursday, in case you didn't hear, okay? And then just jump down to the explain part. I don't want you to spend too much time writing down the quote.
I don't even understand it.
Said you're not understanding. Do you have a, what's your challenge?
It's just the quote is weird. I don't know how to explain it.
It's weird. You know what? I agree. Let's do this. Let's back out of this. And let me give you a little more context, okay? All right. So this is where I got the quote from, okay? I'm going to read the entire piece, and then it might make a little more sense. Part of what's made me so hopeful is the fact that so many young people have been galvanized and activated and motivated and mobilized, because historically so much of the progress that we've made in our society has been because of young people. Dr. King was a young man when he got involved. Cesar Chavez was a young man. Hey, we know that guy. Malcolm X was a young man. The leaders of the feminist movement were young people. Leaders of union movements were young people. The leaders of the environmental movement in this country and the movement to make sure that the LGBT community finally had a voice and was represented were young people. Here's our quote. When sometimes I feel despair, I just see what's happening with young people all across the country and the talent and the voice and the sophistication that they're displaying. And it makes me feel optimistic. It makes me feel as if this country is going to get better. All right. So context, when and where it was said, and then explain. Now that you see the entire paragraph that it's a part of, it might be a little easier for you to explain. All right? You have 3 minutes left.
Excuse me, Mr. Fields, my phone's finna go dead, so I'm gonna have to leave.
Okay, not a problem. Make sure to send me your do now and your exit ticket to my email, okay?
Okay.
All right, have a good day, ladies.
You too.
Bye.
Peace.
Drake for president. Drake for president. Ski ski on the meat.
Yeah, so that is not our exit ticket. If you could finish your exit
Bro,
ticket,
who is
we can
doing
hang
that?
out and talk about bad rappers later. All right. If you have any questions, please unmute or write in chat. Okay. Have about 1.5 minutes left. Okay, thank you for your question, Daquan. We're gonna go ahead and finish our do now and then we'll talk about that, okay? Our exit ticket, I'm sorry. Finish our exit ticket. All right, we got 30 seconds left. Make sure you have the context and the explanation at least, okay? Thank you, Corey. What are you confused about? You can speak. I just unmuted your microphone.
Understand it.
You got it? Okay.
No, I said I don't understand it.
You don't understand the quote?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me, our time is just about up. So let's see if we have some people that would like to share their answer before I explain it a little more, okay? All right, do we have anyone that would like to share the answer to the exit ticket? Mahogany, would you like to share? All right. Maui, would you like to share? I do see Marquise's hand, so let's go. And then Chandler, you can go next. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this. Go ahead
Let me
and
start
what?
now?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first day on YouTube, Barack Obama said, and I put dot because that's what the quote's supposed to be. Ain't so sounds right. But that in this quote, Barack Obama is saying that when he gets sad, he looks at the protests and feels better because of how peaceful everyone is taking this instead of being violent, because violence is not decided anything.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Yes. All right. Now, Chandler, let's hear what you have to say. Any other volunteers as well? You can go after Chandler. Mahogany, if you're available, I'd love for you to read your answer.
Okay, so I said, well, let me go. That it shows that Barack Obama has hope that the world can get better from the youth, like by seeing the other like children and youth people.
Very good. Very good. Now, question, is that the context or is that the explanation part?
Explanation part.
Very good. Excellent. I'm going to call on Mahogany and Ryan to share what they have. All right? No. Great. All right. Thank you for that. Ryan, go ahead if you would. And then Savion will be the last one to share. Ryan, do you have your exit ticket to share?
No, not done.
Not yet? Okay, not a problem. Savion, do you have yours?
No, I'm not done yet.
Not done yet? Okay, not a problem. Anybody else want to share? All right, I will share mine then. Hopefully this will help with any questions that you have, Corey. First, we want to think of our context as being at least one full sentence, okay? So here's my context. On Thursday, President Obama gave a speech on YouTube, period. You can give even more information and tell what the speech was about. This will be a second sentence. The speech was about a new way for police to behave so that police brutality can be decreased. Second sentence. Great. Now to include the quote, we'll put President Obama said, comma, and then include the entire quote. When sometimes I feel despair, I just see what's happening with young people all across the country and the talent and the voice and the sophistication that they're displaying. And it makes me feel optimistic. Lastly, explain. This quote shows that not only does President Obama feel sad sometimes, but also he feels optimistic, period. The thing that makes him most optimistic are the young people and all of the talent and sophistication that they have. Okay, so you see how I went back into the quote and took a word or two to kind of help to explain even more? That's what I want you guys to do for your work this week, all right? Excellent. Our last slide is a reminder that on Wednesday, we have our question and hangout session, 1:30. If you don't have any questions, we'll just hang out. If you want me to help you with some work as we're there, I will be happy to do that. Yeah. Lastly, all work. Go through Common Lit, make sure you've done it all. It's all due on June 11th. That is Thursday at 10 p.m. Grades are due Friday. I am going to put my grades in before Thursday. So if you submit more work, then I will update your grade. But I'm doing my best to not wait for the very last minute. So Thursday at 10 p.m. Please make sure that your work is in. All right? Any questions about Wednesday or Thursday? Any more questions about quote sandwiches? All right.
Oh wait, so
go ahead. We got two. I think it was Tyler and Chandler. Chandler, go ahead.
Will the 5 assignments that you can do, will that be like on Dojo, like on the front page? Like
yeah, so I put the assignments under messages. Okay, this week's message I sent yesterday is really long because it has so many things that you can write. All right, 2 of them are poems, and then the other 3 are paragraph essays. Okay.
You
Excellent.
answer my question too.
Okay, cool. Great. I should have said that before. And then, all right, yes, your assignments are on Class Dojo. All right, wonderful. Any more questions? Any more questions about quote sandwiches?
No.
No?
Question.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you guys for coming to class. Thank you guys for sticking through this year. I know it's been challenging, but we will all be better for sticking through and making sure we do our best. All right? Have a great week. See you on Wednesday. All right.